You tap that and then you can hear. And then Madam Vice President, we're ready to begin the meeting. Just to note for everyone, our president is unable to attend today, so Jody will be running the meeting.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is 4:34 on November 30th, 2023, and I call this special meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission to order. Roll call. Blaine Johnson. Pam Jagosh. Jack Keller.
Here.
Patrick Giddings.
Here.
Jody Alt, present. Ken Fries.
Here.
Deborah Pitts.
Here.
I would like to take this moment to introduce our newest member, Mr. Ken Fries. Mr. Fries, if you would please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm retired and wanted to do something for the community. I've always had a great interest in history. I actually, when I was in the Coast Guard, I worked to get each district to have a Coast Guard historian, because the entire Coast Guard only had one historian for the entire Coast Guard. And I saw that a lot of history was being lost. And I've actually worked on a book on some Coast Guard history, but I'm just very fascinated with history and preserving history. And I see that this commission has done a lot. I was very surprised to see some of the things that they've already done and some of the things that are planning. And I hope to be a part of that in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to working with you. Adoption of agenda.
Madam Vice President.
Mr. Keller.
I'll second that.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of minutes.
Madam Vice President. I move to approve the minutes.
I second that.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the meeting of October 26, 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay, approval of the monthly financial statements.
Madam Vice President, I move to approve the financial statement.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the financial statement be accepted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Let's move on to reports. Mr. Giddings, do you have reports for us?
Excuse me. Yes, I do. Thank you. I'll report on the work of the subcommittee. The subcommittee met on November the 14th. During that meeting, we reviewed our draft RFP. And we also reviewed a draft grant application. So as a reminder, we plan to apply for a $15,000 grant from SHPO. Ms. Schiffler has completed that draft grant application. A link to that application was included in this meeting packet. On the 14th, the subcommittee reviewed the draft and voted to approve it to move forward. And just to speak briefly, the financials listed in the grant application are, we're applying for a $15,000 grant from SHPO. The money for that is funded by the U.S. National Park Service. We're putting up a $2,500 cash match. The money for that comes from the Meridian Historic Preservation Commission budget. We're estimating $3,000 in kind. That's an estimate of volunteer time, which are the HPC commissioners. And then we're estimating $7,000 in kind of city staff and administrative support time. You add all that together, it makes the project total budget to be $27,500. During the meeting on the 14th, we also reviewed our very nearly completed draft of the RFP. Since then, Ms. Schiffler has added some missing information, and we now have a complete draft, which the commissioners were asked to review prior to this meeting. I believe we'll need to vote on whether to move that draft RFP forward tonight. I'll review real quickly the estimated project schedule, but I'll go through this fairly fast. And if you want to look at it in more in-depth detail, you can look at the grant application, and the same information is in the grant application. But by March of 2024, SHPO will notify the applicants of the grants, whether they are awarded or not awarded. So we'll know by March of 2024 whether we have the $15,000 grant. Assuming that we get the grant in April of 2024, we'll let the RFP for a historic research consultant. Then in May, we'll review all the RFP applications and select that consultant. In June of 2024, city will negotiate the contract with the consultant. And then the project start date will officially be September the 1st of 2024. The reason that it has to wait till then is that's the latest time that SHPO receives notification of its funding from the National Park Service. Between September of 2024 and July 2025, the consultant will create our updated Meridian Historic Preservation Plan, and they'll provide us with monthly in-progress reports. We'll require that the completed first draft be due to us by July the 1st, 2025. Between July and August, we'll review the draft. Then we plan that by September 2025, we'll submit the final copy of the Historic Preservation Plan to SHPO. And provided that all goes according to plan, we'll have a new preservation plan and the project will be complete. As I understand it, the next steps now are for the city to approve and submit the grant application. It's been drafted. And the draft RFP will need to be voted on in this meeting. And I believe then it also has to be reviewed by the legal department and by purchasing City of Meridian. This time we haven't scheduled another meeting of the subcommittee. I believe we penciled in a December 12th possible meeting. But when further work is needed, we'll reconvene. So, Madam Vice President, that completes my report, and I'm open to questions or comments.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions, comments? Okay, thank you for that. We'll move on to new business, review and recommend the draft of the RFP.
Madam Vice President, I move that we recommend that we approve the draft RFP for our historic preservation plan.
I second.
Thank you. Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that we recommend the draft for the RFP. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item. The recommend for the Eggers farm letter from Mr. Blaine Johnson. Have you all had a chance to read it? Excellent.
Madam Vice Chair, if anyone had any questions about that, please raise them. I also just wanted to point out, we have one of our city planners here, if you don't mind, Stacy Hirsch. She's the planner that's working on the development application for this developer, so she might be able to answer questions if you have them.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for coming too. Anyone have any questions? Gotta have a motion if we're going to recommend it.
Madam Vice President, I move that we recommend this letter as written to the Planning and Zoning City Council regarding the Eggers Farmstead.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we recommend and send a letter from Blaine Johnson on Eggers Farmstead. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carry. Thank you. Ms. Schiffler, do we have any updates on the Speedway nomination?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I did get an update today, although it's sort of the same. It's the State Historic Preservation Office continues to prioritize this project and plans to submit it in the upcoming weeks to the National Park Service.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other business to bring before this committee? Okay. Our next meeting will be January 25th, 2024. I hope you all have an amazing holiday, and I will see you then. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Vice President, I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn this special meeting. Thank you all for coming. Have a great holiday.